What are the three biases holding us back from selling liberty? Let's talk about that.
Focusing on winning arguments, we're teaching the basic fundamentals of sales and marketing and how we can use them to win in the world of politics, teaching you how to meet people where they're at on the issues they care about. Welcome to The Brian Nichols Show.
Well, happy Thursday there, folks. Brian Nichols here on The Brian Nichols Show, and thank you for joining us on, of course, another fun-filled episode. I am, as always, your humble host, joining you live from our Stratus IP studios here in lovely Eastern Indiana. Don't let cyber attacks or outdated business technology put your company at risk. Learn more at briannicholsshow.com/Stratus IP, and go ahead and get your free one-on-one business consultation today at briannicholsshow.com/Stratus IP. Stratus IP, business technology simplified. Folks, yeah, if everything was perfect and we were able to make all of our sales in the world of liberty based on logic alone, man, it would just be such an easy task for us. But alas, that's not the case. And unfortunately, there are biases that are holding folks back from engaging in the purchase, and that is of us selling liberty. So we're going to talk about the top three biases that you are going to be facing when you're going out trying to sell liberty, so you can best confront them and face them when you do encounter them in the wild. But first, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to today's sponsor, and that is the Libertarian Party of Illinois. Folks, if you are out in the great state of Illinois, well, if you're looking for a third party or just another party, right? It doesn't have to be a third party, just a different party from the traditional red team, blue team, then the Libertarian Party of Illinois might be a great opportunity for you to go ahead and find a political party that has a mission to help elect libertarians to public office, to move public policy in the libertarian direction, folks that believe that they own themselves, that no bureaucrat knows better than what you need or what you want. When peaceful people engage in voluntary cooperation, the most number of people are served. So if you agree with that message, help them restore some liberty up in Illinois and throughout America by voting libertarian, joining a chapter, or donating. Let's bring back peace and liberty in our lifetimes. Head to lpillinois.org and subscribe, sign up, go join a chapter and get involved. All right, folks. So we're going to start things off today digging into number one. This is a funny one. It is the ostrich bias. Now, this is something that we do in the subconscious, and it encourages us to really buffer ourselves from any negative information that comes our way that really will put us outside of our comfort zone. So let's think about this in the world of politics, right? If you have a candidate, for example, that you know is going to lose likely going into the election, sometimes it's more easy for that voter to have ostrich bias, to put their heads in the sand and to not pay attention to what the impending situation is before them. So with that, that's something that we also have to address. Number two, confirmation bias. This one is probably the most common that we will see here. Actually, this and number three are the most commons, but confirmation bias, specifically when we're trying to go out and change people's minds. Now, there are going to be folks that we're going to be able to, get, again, on the issues they care about, meet them on those issues and bring our solutions to the table and actually help address the problems they see. They're going to give us a shot. But there are going to be folks who they're going to be having the confirmation bias. They're going to want to go out, do their own research, and bring some stuff to the table that's only going to reaffirm what it is they already believe. So confirmation bias in the world of politics, what does that look like when you're trying to convince Democrats or Republicans to become a libertarian, for example? It's a little more difficult, specifically because you're facing an uphill battle now going against those initial confirmation biases. And number three, bandwagon bias. People tend to believe what other people think. It's a sad reality, and people like to be part of a crowd rather than nervously looking on as they're making a decision on their own to see is this going to fall in line with what everybody else is doing. We also call this groupthink, right? And in sales, what we want to do is use this to our advantage. In this position, we want to either position ourselves as someone who's brand new. It's a brand new trailblazer, somebody who's bringing a brand new way of doing something to the marketplace. In this case, in the political discourse, what can we do? Bring new ideas, specifically ideas that are addressing hot button issues that voters are looking for some real answers to. And if we can use that to our advantage, specifically when it's already being used against us, then we're going to have a lot more success. So what are the three biases? Ostrich bias, confirmation bias, and bandwagon bias. Now, for ostrich bias and confirmation bias, it's difficult to overcome some of those sometimes when you're talking to prospects. And again, we go back to knowing your market. It's important for you to understand who it is that you're speaking to. If somebody that you're speaking to is already set in their ways, they're not open to a new idea, then it might be a time for you to move on. Find somebody who is going to be more of a fit. But with that being said, if you can prepare for some of these cognitive biases that each one of us always has, and we have to acknowledge that, right? We're trying to sell this stuff out there. We have our own biases. So, of course, we have to acknowledge that other people do as well. So, with that being said, folks, a rather short episode today. We've been busy here this past week, really long episodes. We had a great one yesterday with Kenny Cody where we dug through what happened. GOP, what happened? There might be some glimmer of hope, it looks like, with Arizona finding some votes. They're still doing votes right now in Arizona. I don't get that. Can somebody please explain that to me? I don't understand how we are, 2 days now removed from an election and we still have a finalized vote tally for a state that, did Arizona like grow leaps and bounds since 10 years ago that suddenly they can't count all their votes in one night. And then Florida's like quadruple the size of that state and they count all their votes in one night. Help me understand it, folks. I need help understanding. Otherwise, beyond that, folks, if you got some value from that episode, plus we had a bunch of other episodes here this past week, do me a favor. Go ahead and give them a share. Oh, by the way, I did not get the chance to tell you yesterday. I had an awesome time. I got to go hang out with our good buddy there, Shane Hazel. Yes, he was the governor candidate for Georgia as a libertarian. He faced off against Stacey Abrams and against Brian Kemp. And we talked about Liberty strategy, Liberty messaging, and Liberty sales. And I thought it was a great conversation. Really appreciated Shane having me over on Radical. So, by the way, I put that as an episode here of the Brian Nichols Show. So if you want to go ahead and check that episode out, it is, I think, one we aired back on Tuesday. So go ahead, check that episode out. Otherwise, please go check out Radical. Give it a subscribe. And please do me a favor. When you go there, tell Shane I said hi, because Shane is awesome. And if you haven't gotten subscribed to all of Shane's stuff yet, please go ahead and do that as well. All right, folks. Beyond that, please do me a favor. If you are watching us over on YouTube, well, first of all, hello. Go below, leave me a comment. I want to hear from you. What was your favorite episode this past week? What's been your favorite episode of the Brian Nichols Show? I want to hear it. Reply in the comments. I also wanted to give you guys a shout out. You guys have been helping the channel grow leaps and bounds here over on YouTube. So thank you. I know we started things off a little slow, actually like a year and a half ago at this point. So we're now starting to pick up steam. So thank you to you guys for, hit and subscribe, that little notification bell. And then also we're over on Rumble and on Odyssey. So if you're saying no more YouTube, well, you have other options. Go ahead, subscribe there as well. And by the way, yes, we do have where 90% of you are listening to us. That's the audio version of the podcast. Anywhere you get your podcast, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Podcasts, wherever it may be, just do me a favor when you go there, hit the subscribe button as well. And if you get a chance, I would really appreciate it. 5-star rating and review. Why not? Go tell some folks why you enjoy the Brian Nichols Show. Are we helping you sell liberty? Are we bringing candidates to the table you never heard of? Are we bringing solutions to the table you never heard of? I would love to hear that. Please go ahead. If you could give us a 5-star rating and review, I would greatly appreciate it. And then one last thing. You want to go ahead and support the show? Well, hey, you can do that. I have 2 different ways you can do it. Number one, you can either go to briannicholsshow.com/support, give us a one-time donation, or become a subscriber over at the show, $5 a month. Or number 2, briannicholsshow.com/shop. Go to our amazing store, which is hosted by Proud Libertarian, great libertarian organization. And we have a lot of new stuff here for the holidays, bunch of new shirts, bunch of new swag. We have snapbacks, bumper stickers, cups, mugs, backpacks, and more. So head to briannicholsshow.com/shop. Some of the new items, we have our Magic Money Tree shirt, our No Farmers, No Food shirt, What Happened in 1971, Liberty Legends, which has a bunch of Liberty icons and as their younger former selves like Ron Paul, Milton Friedman, Hayek, and a bunch more. We have, what else? Oh goodness, there's so many other shirts. Oh yeah, our Klaus Schwab. Now that's what I call that's what I call tyranny shirt. There we go. Klaus Schwab is not Liberty. So yeah, go ahead, check those all out. But do me a favor, do yourself a favor, use code TBNS at checkout. when you are going over there to purchase your items, it'll go ahead and give you I think 20% discount there. I could be wrong. Go test it out. We'll see. But otherwise, folks, thank you for joining us today. And yeah, by the way, I'll make sure I include our episode with Kenny Cody right here below on the YouTubes. Otherwise, thanks for joining us, folks. Brian Nichols signing off here on The Brian Nichols Show. We'll see you tomorrow.
For listening to The Brian Nichols Show. Find more episodes at briannicholsshow.com.